Welcome back to the UK Crypto Podcast. I'm Paula and I'm joined as always by Matty. Crypto was built to challenge the system and now the system is buying crypto in a big way. So today we're asking a bigger question. Is institutional money good for price but bad for the original point of crypto? This episode isn't about extremes. It's about balance, trade-offs and what that shift really means. Right, let's get into it. Before we unpack that, we should properly thank today's sponsor, which is Blowfin. Blowfin is one of our trusted exchanges. We use it for leverage trading and spot trading. With the link in the description, you get access to both sign up and trading bonuses. Bonuses vary by promotion. The link's in the description.
All right, let's set the scene. And with what's actually happening in the market right now, we're seeing institutions entering the markets at a scale I never thought we'd ever see.
It's been huge.
People always thought that it would come. Well, not always, but over recent years, people thought that it was going to come.
Yeah.
People speculated it was going to come. But I'm going to be honest. If you look at something like an XRP owned by Ripple, it's fully based off institutional adoption. One of the biggest arguments for Ripple and XRP is that institutions will never touch crypto in any kind of scale. That argument has now been completely blown out of the water. We have seen ETF flows breaking all records.
Well, I've got some figures here.
Go on.
So, global crypto ETF inflows in 2025 were around about $47.87 billion. That's massive. $47 billion. I
mean, that's monster money. I mean, honestly, I hoped this day would come.
Yeah.
I thought it might come. I didn't think it was going to come this quick, this fast, at this scale, by so many of the big boys. I just didn't think it was going to happen. Not this quick.
Yeah, and I think you're probably right in voicing that in the way you have, because when we talk about infrastructure being built, when we talk about institutional involvement, it feels so much like we are doing all the talking, or the institutions are doing all the talking, or the companies like Ripple are saying, we've got these payment rails, we're building this in. But it feels like it's never going to come.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
bang,
quietly in the background,
bang,
it's there.
Yeah.
And then it's being used. And then it scales. And I think that's what we're seeing. And when you said, actually, you never expected it to come so soon.
No, I hoped.
Yeah.
But I
think everybody holding crypto hoped.
Maybe not actually. But anybody that's holding any kind of crypto that was based solely off institutional adoption, like an XRP or a Ripple company, and it's not just about them. I don't want to make this into a Ripple podcast or anything, but because there's other cryptos as well that fall into that line. We all wanted it to happen. Yeah. But did anybody really believe it was going to happen this fast, this quick? Yes, I know we haven't quite seen the price action that some people are hoping for. That's because people don't understand the way when the price action should come. They're expecting good news, price action now, and that's not how it's going to work. No. We need volume first in between. And these volume figures are giant. Yeah. But they're only going to get bigger. How long is it going to be till it's 100 billion? 200 billion. Yeah. 500 billion.
And what's price action going to be when that volume increases?
Yeah, who knows? Everybody knows that I don't do price predictions,
me neither.
Right?
No.
I'm not Jake Claver, right? I'm not about to start giving you a price prediction. It's a
very controversial drop that you just did.
It is what
there,
it is.
yeah.
Listen, he's a smart guy. I'm not here to throw shade at him, right? He's a very clever guy. He's very successful, but I'm not him, and I'm not about to give you a price prediction so that you can all nail me to the wall the next time there's a New Year's Day, right? However, these levels coming in, for me, feel enormous. Yeah. And it can only lead in one direction. In my opinion, long term. Short term, who knows? Yeah. But I don't care about short term. I'm a long-term crypto holder. I couldn't give a monkey's what the price is tomorrow. I don't care what the price is next month. I don't care what the price is next year. I care much longer term than that. That for me, that's all about the long game.
But and the thing is what we have to get away from is crypto at the beginning was all about retail investment.
100%.
The volatility came in because retail would buy and they would sell and it would all be very quick.
Yeah.
That whole the whole buy-in cycle has changed because institutions don't buy in the same way that retail buys. And that's a big change, isn't it?
100%. So I did a live stream on TikTok where we were covering this. And I said something that I thought was obvious. And then the comments started. And I was like, oh, wow. Like I'd said something that was completely out there, and I'm like, okay, I need to make more of this content. And the point I was trying to get across, actually, I can probably get it across quicker now than I did on the live stream because I went around the houses. But what I was trying to say was, originally, crypto was sentiment-led. So the way people feel depends on the price.
Yeah.
People feel happy and buy more, price go up. People feel sad and they sell, the price goes down. It was that simple, right? Then comes the institutions. These guys have no emotion. They don't care what the price is. It doesn't. I know some people might think, well, of course they're going to care because it's what their wealth is. They don't care about the price today.
Yeah.
They don't care about price action of a daily candle.
Yeah.
They're looking at quarters.
Yeah.
They're looking at half yearly. They're looking at yearly. They're not hyper-focused on small price moves, even like a move over a week or 2 weeks or a month. They don't care.
Yeah.
Right? They're looking over much bigger time frames. One of the things that everybody has been conditioned to listen to is that crypto moves in this particular order. Bitcoin pumps, people take their profits, they buy Ethereum. Ethereum pumps, people take their profits, then they go and invest in smaller capped market. Then they go and invest in cryptos with a smaller market cap, and then you get what's called an alt season.
Yeah.
Right? Do you really think BlackRock are going to sell their Bitcoin for a profit and then go and buy a shitload of meme coins?
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Which is why I was saying to people on the live stream, I believe the alt seasons that we know, that you can buy any old bag of shit, that all of a sudden, bang, it's going to go when there's an alt season. Will we get altcoin rallies? Of course we will, because that's naturally going to happen. But I believe now the altcoins that need to be backed for safety are the large cap altcoins.
Yeah.
XRP, Solana. I can't think of any more. My brain's gone blank.
Ethereum.
XRP, Ethereum, Solana. If you are going to look at any meme coins, you need to be thinking about the big ones, the large caps, which are
Pepe, Doge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, that feels safety. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the oracle, the all-seeing, all-knowing. I'm just telling you what I feel and what I think.
Yeah.
I think if you think you can go and buy any old little meme coin down the bottom, wait for alt season and go and make 50 grand, 100 grand, I believe them days are gone.
Yeah.
Where everything moves at the same time. I think now it's going to be select ones that will move depending on what's going on at the time instead of a complete market shift.
Yeah, and I think you've got to factor in utility into that as well, because you might see coins move because they have got utility outside of just trading as a normal coin.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a real game changer, I think. And these coins that have got more utility, look at some of the projects that are being built on Solana at the moment, and that could be a real game changer for Solana. Looking at the price at the moment, it feels really cheap. So we could expect a move in price. We could be looking at a complete increase in price when Ripple integrates all of these payment networks they've got and they're using XRP. We just don't know. And this potential decoupling away from Bitcoin, I think could be very likely if we've got better utility in these coins.
100%. And it's not to say that I still wouldn't look at a smaller market cap, because if a project has got some decent utility, some good backing behind it, and it's coming to me across my desk by people that I know and trust, then I'll potentially look at it, because I actually like a little bit of a gamble. Now, I know people don't like using the word gamble in crypto, but when you get the smaller market caps, it definitely is. It feels more like a gamble to me. So I actually quite like the idea that instead of playing it safe with some of the big boys, every now and again, with a very small percentage of my net worth, I'll go and look and go, that's worth a little look at, yeah? I think that's okay. But if you're putting the majority of your wealth into these low cap meme coins, dangerous game.
I think you've also got to remember there are more altcoins now than there has ever been. So your choice of where you can invest your money is spread, and how, unless there is a huge amount more retail buying in, those coins have not really got the potential to get the market caps like they were, because there is such a diverse range of coins to be able to invest in.
100%.
And I think that's something to consider as well, because that volatility in the small caps, in the meme coins, I mean, people can lose a lot of money very, very fast.
I actually don't mind that. I mean, sometimes I make some content and I look back at it and think, oh, I look like I'm hating on them. I'm not hating on meme coins. Like, I just feel like it's had its place.
Yeah.
It has its place in crypto. But for people that don't understand what its place is, then it's a very dangerous zone.
Yeah.
Right? What I would say is, though, I don't think the changes that I'm talking about here is a negative. I think it's just crypto maturing.
Yeah.
Now the big boys are involved.
Yeah.
Retail is going to have less power moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. The market is going to care less and less about what people like me and you and people that watch this video and subscribe to us, what we think and feel. And because that's going to affect the price less moving forward, because a huge chunk of the money that's involved propping up the market cap is going to be by massive monster institutions.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit how people feel.
Well,
they're not emotional buying.
No. And let's be honest, can retail put $47 billion into the market in 1 year? I mean, it's such a massive amount of money. And we can only assume that, yes, 2025 was one of the strongest years for ETFs. Is that just because there was more ETFs available? And as that time goes on, 2026 might be another strongest year because there's more available and more institutions want to get involved in that. And that natural progression is going to create, I think, a bigger divide between the amount of money that institutional institutions are investing and then retail are investing. Because yes, more people are getting involved in crypto as a retail investor, but that doesn't outweigh the amount of money that the institutions are putting in.
So I think, and this is just my best guess, I think that as the more money comes in from the big boys, it'll create like a compressing effect.
Yeah.
So I do believe that over time, we'll probably see a lot less volatility, which potentially might flatten out some of the seasons, like a Bitcoin buying season or an altcoin season or whatever these phrases are that people use. I think we might see a bit of a compressing. Yes, we'll still see promise. Yes, we'll still see DOMs. But I think that compression of the volatility over time may start to even out a little bit with some less violent moves over time. We're not there yet. We're still going to see violent moves, but I think over time, if you go off what I've just said there about the big boys aren't going to be emotional buying and selling, they're going to be doing strategic buying and selling only with zero emotion, then I think that compression possibly could take the tops and the bottoms off the edges.
But I think what you're describing is a market that's maturing.
100%.
I know, and I think that we are only going to see that moving forward. If we looked at the S&P 500, we don't see these violent swings in price action. And I think that we've got to recognise that is a mature market.
Yeah.
And that's probably where crypto's going. Not to say that you won't see increases that are bigger than you see in stocks, because we might potentially still see that moving forward, but we won't see such big swings up and down in such a small amount of time like we're seeing with crypto at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I think this shift in the market is directly tied to institutional money coming in, and there's so many things that is involved around this, because it's not we talk about institutional money, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does it look like? I mean, the first thing there is about liquidity.
Yeah.
So liquidity means actual money in.
Available money.
Available money in.
Yeah.
So as they buy, that money's now in, that's the liquidity in the pot.
Yeah.
And they're bringing that in at levels which is unprecedented.
Yeah.
And I think it's impressive. Is it going to go backwards from here? Maybe. Could institutions lose appetite for ETFs? Maybe. I don't think they will. I think they're now setting themselves up to this for one day, these to be their major part of what they do rather than another part of what they do.
Yeah.
I think it's only going to get bigger and better.
And I think it's probably a good time to talk about what affects things like liquidity, because we don't live in a world where crypto markets are isolated. Mm-hmm. They once were, and when it was retail traders, it moved on sentiment. But now we've got things like geopolitics being so important in how markets move. And we've always really seen that in other markets. Now crypto is being pulled into very similar strategies.
So let's get it straight. One of the things that blew me up on social media is because every day I spoke about how politics affected the crypto price the day before, or what was happening in politics that potentially could affect the crypto price today. Yeah. And it blew my account up because Donald Trump was running for office. Mm-hmm. I was saying to people, if this guy gets in, by the way, you have to take yourself back to 2024. This is now the summer. We're running up. Some people are saying it's impossible for him to win. Other people were saying he's definitely going to win.
Yeah.
There was two camps.
Yeah.
I'm going in saying I couldn't give a shit if he wins, except if he does win, I believe crypto in the United States of America is going to change. Forget about the Trump pump they were talking about, right? I'm talking about frameworks. I'm talking about the way crypto is treated legally.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the SEC. I'm talking about innovation with making sure that America is going to be a big hub for crypto. Can only be good long term because quite a few of the projects that I'm heavily involved in are all American owned.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think potentially this could financially benefit me if Trump is involved long term. I'm not talking about the first year. I'm on about what's it going to look like in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I was making these videos and my account just went bang, out of nowhere, overnight. Then Trump got elected. Then things were going on. Then I'm making videos about tariffs, going, if these tariffs happen, market's going to go boop, and then bang, it's a tariff. I've made videos saying these tariffs would be bad because they'll spook the stock market. Plummeted. My account just blew up overnight. So doing this geopolitics, talking about America, Russia, China, America, Iran, Russia, talking about how this oil and how that affects crypto.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many people in the UK talking in these ways.
Yeah.
Yes, they might have done privately in their groups, but not openly the way I did.
Because I think that when we talk about market, it's very often people just fall on macro. And macro is important.
Oh, absolutely is.
Macro is
Massively
really
important.
Yeah. But I think geopolitics is affecting markets now more than it ever has. And we have to take that into account because liquidity comes and goes very quickly in crypto.
Yeah.
It is the thing that people will pull their money out of the fastest because it is so easily available and the markets do not shut.
100%.
So that's always going to be a consideration. But will the markets change? I mean, why does the S&P close in the evening?
Well, this is the thing. They want to bring those boys onto blockchain. Did you know this?
Well, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, they want to bring... So there's... I can't remember his name. What's his name? He's a guy from the New York Stock Exchange. He's like a really, really important guy. And I can't... Okay, forget it. His name's gone from me. He gave us an interview on one of the American news channels. And he was basically saying that it makes complete sense to take stocks and shares to a blockchain scenario. 24-hour trading all the time. Everybody can get access to it. No downtime. We just go. Whether he's influential enough to make that move, but he was one of the guys. I can't remember his name now, but he was really, really important.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you what else is going to happen though. The more the institutions get involved, the more legitimacy it's going to give to crypto. Because it wasn't that long ago. People would say to me, "What do?" I'd say crypto, and they'd say, "Isn't that for criminals?" And I'd be like, some criminals. Like,
I mean, I'm going to rule out all criminals.
Some criminals might be involved, but that was the perception because the governments ran so many campaigns to say
the dark web.
The dark web.
Yeah.
It's how gangsters move money. That's how cartels do.
Yeah.
And this was in people's psyche. Now things are going to be starting to move.
Yeah.
When people like my mum and dad get emails from their trusted bank to say, by the way, your payments are now being run on the whatever network they choose, and they explain that it's crypto, it's going to start changing the psyche of other people.
Yeah.
If you've got a financial advisor and they say, time for your yearly review, and by the way, I suggest that you aren't putting so much money into that stocks and shares. Maybe you're looking at a crypto ETN, or an ETF.
Yeah,
it's going to change the psyche.
Yeah.
So this legitimacy coming from institutional banks and institutions over there, especially over the pond over in America, I believe is going to make a huge impact on the average person that's not in crypto, and 100%. That's going to turn them into the future crypto purchasers.
100%. And in terms of these big institutions using blockchain technology and investing in crypto, they need better infrastructure.
100%.
Because if you are thinking about $47 billion worth of money being moved, this is not a small fry. This is big boy money. And that building of the payment rails, the building of the infrastructure in the background, it's getting, I believe that it's getting more readily available to be used across the field. I think that this technology is there, and actually when you've got big institutions saying, actually I want to be able to settle my payments straight away, I don't want to have to wait 3 business days for my money to get from one place to the other. I want to be able to pull my money out of my investments at whatever time. I want to be able to use this blockchain technology to move payments within my company, or whatever it might be that they're saying. It's going to build this infrastructure, and it's going to allow growth.
100%. And again, with that growth comes more institutional money, which then gives you more stability in price over time.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier on. I think the more they come in, the flatter the market's going to get with the peaks and the troughs.
Absolutely.
And it'll also mean the price will be slowly, gradually going up without the big swings.
Yeah.
But listen, I actually make money off the big swings. I'm a leverage trader. I'm a day trader.
Yeah.
So actually, I quite like the swings. But you would just adjust your approach,
Of course,
wouldn't you?
you just adjust your strategy to fit the market.
Strategy.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if they are building this infrastructure in the background, then it's going to naturally roll down to people being able to use that as a retail investor.
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
going to become more mainstream. We're seeing it. We spoke about it in the last episode where we were talking about the UK and about UK crypto holders and about how some of the UK banks are starting to do pilots within using blockchain technology. So I think if we can integrate this and make it user friendly, because crypto is complex. It's not the easiest thing to invest in the world, but the less we make it complex, the easier it is, the better the rails, the better the regulation, everything becomes more mainstream.
Absolutely. But for every upside, there is going to be a trade-off, because it's not just as simple as fantastic. There are going to be some negatives that are going to come with this. So if we can look at a few of them. And then the first one for me, and I'd like to just explain just a little bit. I think I touched on it on the last episode, talking about when I first got into Bitcoin, what people's opinions were. And I've kind of hold back until I can talk about this properly here. And that's about how centralisation is creeping in. Because mass adoption of crypto by the big boys, by nature, is exactly the opposite of what crypto was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Crypto was designed to be peer-to-peer, person to person, away from the banks, away from government, something that was private.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was very anti-establishment, very anti-government, and that was the dream.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of my favorite cryptos now, like an XRP, for instance, is solely designed for banks and institutions to move global wealth.
Yeah, that's complete centralisation.
So it's the most centralised thing. I know before anybody says to me, oh yeah, but XRP is not centralised. Okay, fine. But it's servicing the most centralised TradFi there is.
Absolutely.
Bank-to-bank transfers, major institution-to-institution transfers, okay? It's exactly the opposite of what crypto was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I get it. Some of the old school, some of the people that's been as long as me, are absolutely hate modern crypto.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm a football fan. Yeah. If you're from America, I'm talking about soccer, right? It's the same with that. I've got friends that hate modern football.
Yeah.
You have a choice. If you don't like modern football, get out. Stop watching it.
Don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same with crypto.
Yeah.
If you're not loving where it's going, get out.
Yeah.
Go and find something else to do.
Yeah.
For me, I get it. I remember what the dream was. I remember how excited I was that I was doing something that was against the government, all those things, yeah? But you have to evolve.
Yeah.
You evolve or you get left behind.
Yeah.
And if you hold on to a pipe dream of what it used to be, by the way, that dream now is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, your government now knows which exchange you use,
Yeah.
where your wallets are, where you're spending it. They know everything now.
Yeah.
And if they
can
don't
seize your assets.
And before anybody throws in the comments, well, I use privacy coins. For how long?
Yeah.
How long until your privacy coin operator does a deal with the government to go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So these things, I believe these things are dead. It's dead in the water. So for me, I've decided instead of holding on to a dream that it was at the beginning, is to evolve and move forward and embrace it.
Yeah.
Do I think there's a little part of it which is sad that the dream, what it was supposed to be, is dead? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But you can't live in the past.
Well, the problem is all you're going to end up doing is being angry. And there were so many people in the early Bitcoin days that were already angry at the government, that were already looking for a different alternative.
Yeah.
And the reality is you guys created something that was awesome. You created this community that was awesome. You created this away from the government. Great. But that's not what it is now.
Yeah.
And if we live in that anger, then, I mean, Matt's absolutely right. Go and find something else that you are really invested in, because crypto isn't what it was in the first place. And there is evolution, and the evolution is required. What I think that those early adopters should be incredibly proud of is that what crypto created and what Bitcoin created was technology that's going to revolutionize the world.
100%.
Because this technology, it is revolutionary. And if you look at the systems that companies have got in places, banks have got in places, it's not even comparable to what you could create on the blockchain. And that is revolutionary.
Yeah.
And maybe we just need to slightly move away from...
But it's not the revolution they wanted.
I get it. I do. I get it.
What the dream was...
I get it.
Nobody uses banks anymore. Nobody uses big institutions.
Yeah.
The government doesn't have any control. So that was the dream.
Yeah.
It's beyond dead.
It's gone, yeah.
Now the banks are going to be operating within the crypto scene. Now the institutions are going to own the crypto scene in some aspects. So it's dead. It's get it, but you got to move on. You got to evolve.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I think the point that custodians are going to own crypto over self-custody.
Yeah.
If we look at ETFs, that definitely is the case. If we look at the banks potentially offering you a way to access crypto and they're going to hold it, again, it moves away from that idea of self-custody.
It does, but I can see the benefits to that. Like, I often use my dad as an example because, like, he's the kind of person that it makes sense for. He's never going to go and sign up at a crypto exchange. He's never going to get a cold store wallet. But if his bank manager said to him, this financial product is a good idea for an investment, I think you should do it. It's like a stocks and share almost kind of thing, very similar. By the way, the predicted percentage over the next 12 months is better.
Yeah.
He's going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's more liquidity in the markets for us, which is only going to do one thing. It's going to pump our bags.
Exactly.
So I think it's a good idea. Mass adoption via those routes, I believe, is a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. But when we talk about self-custody, I just want to be very clear. As always, do not leave your long-term holdings of crypto on exchanges. Use cold storage.
I mean, it's not your keys. It's not your crypto.
Exactly.
I've said it a million times online. Everybody knows that our crypto cold storage of choice is Tangent. There's a link in the description.
Yeah, 100%. Is the retail edge shrinking? We've talked about it in here. I think it is. But I also think that more people are coming into crypto than they ever have.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting thing for me because the more people are doing some education and getting involved in crypto, the more they're going to understand the transition when it does come in, because it is coming in. We've got it here, crypto drifting towards TradFi 2.0.
100%.
It is. That is the way the traditional banking system is moving to. We have got talks about pilots of CBDCs coming in. There's stable coin regulation that's being talked about at government level. This is all going to happen. And if we've got more retail investors in it, then when it comes, you guys are going to be in a position of knowledge and power. And I think the more people that are in that position, the better, because it's easy for things to change and be implemented when people don't understand, because the governments can come up with this fancy new idea and this is going to be great for everyone and everybody gets swept along. But actually, I think we are more educated now. We've got more access to information than we've ever had. And the governments can't just pull the wool over our eyes like they used to, because we can go out and we can search this. And I think that this improvement in the amount of retail investors that are in the market can only be a good thing, because it's going to allow us to hold people more accountable when these changes do come into effect.
I mean, this is where opinions really start to split in my eyes. We've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but this is the split right now. And it's about freedom versus convenience. Yeah. Isn't it?
We live in a world of convenience, don't we? So everything
people
convenience
want things
now.
Easily.
Absolutely.
But with that easily now comes...
we lose our freedom.
We lose your freedom.
Yeah.
You want to buy crypto easily via Coinbase.com or crypto.com or whatever?
Well, they're now exchanges that are a KYC.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
That need to be reporting their figures to HMRC if they're required to.
So that convenience comes at a cost.
Absolutely.
Which is your freedom and which is your identity.
Which is your ability to report your taxes in the way that you want to. Because, yes, you have a requirement to do that, but you want to be able to do that yourself, not because the exchanges are sending your data through because of KYC. There is that payoff.
So I'm very upfront and honest. So I don't do anything anything wrong with my reporting.
Yeah.
Because of the position I'm in, you couldn't. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
it's
get
pointless.
nailed to the wall. They'd stick me in the newspapers.
Yeah.
So I'm very open. But I know a lot of old school crypto investors, they're doing everything they can to try and hide things.
Yeah.
And I just fear for them that actually they're trying to overthink it.
But it is that
Everybody wanted crypto to go big and massive. Well, now you've got what you wanted.
Yeah.
It's now big and massive. And unfortunately, the governments are going to tax it.
Of course, yeah.
It's always going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's always going to happen.
Absolutely.
But I think you've got early adopters and you've got the new users, and they've got two different wants and needs.
Yeah.
But I think the two worlds can coexist together via some middle ground.
Yeah.
I think they can. I think the dream of what it was at the beginning is dead. What the new people want or asking for, because the younger generations now are completely conditioned that they have to be completely open with everything they do. Yeah? Somewhere in the middle is probably some happy middle ground. I don't know how that's going to sit moving forward, but I think that both the new school and that old school can coexist side by side.
I really hope so, because this is not going away. This is definitely moving forward. There will be digital currencies in every single country in the entire world. There will be stablecoin transactions. Whether or not we evolve into being able to be able to spend our crypto in a way that is not through banks and doesn't need to be reported, I don't know. I don't know how all of this evolves moving forward, but I just feel that it's going to be so integrated moving forward, and I really hope that those people that were early adopters can still feel part of a movement that they created, because ultimately we wouldn't be at the place that we're at now if it wasn't for those people in the first place, if it wasn't for that desire, for that will, and that real fight for that bit of independence that they created.
Well, if you went to an early adopter and said, I'll tell you what then, mate, what we're going to do is we're going to separate Bitcoin into two halves. Yeah, I know it's impossible, by the way. I'm saying something that's impossible. But imagine just for a second this was possible. We're going to have a Bitcoin with no institutions. We're going to have a Bitcoin with institutions. We're going to put you in that pot there and see what happens to your price, because it'll probably drop about 80% overnight in price. How many of the old schoolers would stand by their convictions then?
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah.
I think having convictions, having morals is really good and impressive. But you know what? How many would stand by it with their pockets if they said, your Bitcoin's now worth 80% less than the other Bitcoin? Because that's the reality of what I think would happen. It could be bigger than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It could be bigger than that. I don't know, because it's a fictional question. We don't know the real math. Just in a guess.
Because none of those early adopters were ever expecting one Bitcoin to be $125,000 like it was in the summer.
Mate, I've said this so many times. When I first heard about Bitcoin on 4chan, and people were talking about what it was for, and yes, we've said about this, it was anti-establishment, anti-bank, blah, 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 blah. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, was talking about Bitcoin being 100 grand.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing.
No.
Like, it wasn't even anybody's psyche. There was no conversation about it.
Yeah.
Nobody was even suggesting it being $10.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it went, bah, 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 bah. It flew. And when it flew, then the conversations about money.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it became about, can I make money out of this?
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about buying Bitcoin to make money.
No.
I don't remember a single person ever saying, buy this, make money.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it. Yes, and before somebody digs up some random video of some guy from many years ago going, buy this, make money. I'm sure somebody said it. I'm just saying.
But that wasn't the theme going through that environment. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I remember being on a particular chat with a few people. Nobody we all went and bought it together.
Yeah.
We went, oh, this is cool. Off we go. Right? Nobody was saying, I can't wait to make money.
Yeah.
We're all going, this is awesome.
It was great because you had a currency that was away from the banks. Yeah, exactly. It was a completely different reason for buying it. As an investment.
Where now, if you had a group of people that said, let's go buy Bitcoin together, the number one question is, can't wait to see the price tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't even a conversation. So that change there is definitely a switch.
Yeah,
definitely a switch.
100%. 100%. And that brings us back to everyday people in the market. Why would some people want to welcome in the institutions? Do you think it's from price action? Do you think it's from infrastructure?
I think that legitimacy, we touched on it earlier on. For me, the more they come in, the more it gives that legitimate tag to crypto. And the more legitimacy that it has, the more people will come in. Yeah. And the more people that come in is more liquidity. More liquidity, more price action. More price action, the richer I get. And I'm going to be honest, that's why I want them to come in. I want the prices to go up as high as possible. And for that, you need more liquidity. So we need more people.
Yeah. So how does retail adapt?
I think retail adapts by the old school, letting it go. Adapting, moving forward or getting out.
Yeah.
New school don't need to change because they're already be conditioned by the new version of crypto. KYC is normal to them. Reporting, normal to them.
And people that are potentially not involved in crypto, get involved.
Absolutely.
Because the blockchain technology is going to be available.
They're now teaching crypto in universities. Yeah. They're now teaching crypto at colleges.
Yeah.
They're now touching on talking about crypto at schools.
Yeah.
The next generation that's coming through is going to be normal to them. Yeah. Crypto is not going to be this mythical thing that it was for people in my generation. It's going to be completely normal.
So what's the real takeaway?
I think the real takeaway is that institutional money, in my opinion, is a positive thing.
Yeah.
It's got a negative element about the sadness of the idea of Bitcoin in particular, what it was designed for being. The dream is now dead. This puts the final nail in the coffin of the Bitcoin dream, in my opinion. Is Bitcoin the strongest? Yes. Is it going to die tomorrow? No. But the dream of what it was for is over.
I think the reality is whether you think it's good or bad, it is here. And that is not going anywhere. It's probably going to get bigger than it's ever been. Last year, 2025, was the strongest year for ETF inflows. I can only imagine as we get more opportunity for more ETFs, that's going to get bigger. So whether we like it or whether we don't, I think we've just got to kind of try and accept the fact that it's here.
100%.
We've just got to remember that we need to be adapting to this environment. It's not ideology anymore. It's not this dream that we hope one day happens. It's here. It's happening. It's in life.
Day by day.
It's very, very much part of our financial markets across the world. The technology in the background is going to be integrated into TradFi. That is not even in question that is going to happen. And yes, we can all live and die by our principles, but at the end of the day, ideology is ideology, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's something I'd like to finish on, which is this. The seal has now been broken with institutional money. They have arrived. They're here en masse. It's not like it's the small institutions while the big boys hold off.
No.
The big boys are in big time.
Yeah.
Now that seal's been broken, I believe now the rapid rate of increase is only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
It cannot be reversed. The only thing that could stop it now is an absolute disaster, something huge that is not foreseen. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah,
maybe it
that's
could be
always the case.
Yeah,
isn't it?
maybe it could be quantum computers destroying the crypto market. You just don't know. Apart from an absolute monster event that none of us can see coming down the road, the institutions are here. They're here to stay, and they have got a major part to play. in my opinion.
Absolutely. And as always, guys, if you want more education, make sure you check out the cryptowolfpack.co.uk website. Matt has created a free trading course there. All the information you need about spot trading, about leverage trading, the information that's going to keep you in the game, making sure that you know and you've got a great strategy for your investments moving forward. Because like we've talked about today, if you don't educate yourself, if you don't keep up with what's going on, you are in a losing position. So if you haven't already, go and check out the links in the description. We've got the link to our sponsor today, which is Blowfin. It's our preferred trading platform. We use it day in, day out. They've got some amazing community bonuses, some amazing sign-up bonuses, and all the links for all the products that we use are in the description of this podcast.
Absolutely. I just like to say as well that so when it comes to the crypto liftoff course, it's teaching the exact strategies that I've used across multiple bear markets and bull markets to make money, because people need a strategy to make money in crypto, and this is one I'm just giving out for free.
Yeah, it's been another amazing podcast. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Matt.
Appreciate you
guys. If you are listening, you haven't already subscribed, please do that. We really appreciate all the support across all the platforms we're making content on. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channels, I'm at Paula Talks Crypto. Matt is at
Milkshake Matty.
At Milkshake Matty.
Unless it's TikTok, then it's Milkshake Matty Official. And then on X, it's Milkshake Matty X. Yes, I know I've got
Why is it so complicated?
Yeah, don't ask. It's you know what? It's a podcast in itself, that.
Yeah, literally.
That is a podcast in itself.
Literally.
That's
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you.